So I quit Fortnite competitive after my 4+ year long journey to pro, where I peaked at over 90,000 PR and 3.15k earnings. I was always the IGL, making the big decisions, using complex strategies on the fly during stressful tournaments, and ultimately leading my team to success. And there's this one habit that I eventually started to implement that started making me perform way better in tournaments, especially as an IGL. But I just wish I knew of its importance much earlier so I could have became a way better player way faster. So what was it? It was my sleep. So that's why today I'm making a full video for you based on sleep. One thing your brain does during sleep is that it processes its memories and then it also strengthens neural connections associated with learning. So if you get more sleep and get better quality sleep, you will literally learn faster and remember more. That's literally the definition of getting better at something, bro. Another thing your brain does during sleep is that it processes its emotions and experiences that day, meaning you'll rage less and have a more consistent session of practice. And lastly, the most important part. Through many different complicated processes your brain does during sleep, it basically increases your cognitive function the next day. I remember hearing this fact and kind of just brushing it off, thinking it wouldn't really do much until I started to experience it myself. Usually I would get like a normal 8 to 9 hours of sleep every day, but then every now and then I would get a measly 5 to 6 hours of sleep accidentally. And then like magic, it just felt like my skill was cut in half. I took longer to make decisions that I usually are so quick to make. I was less aware. I was slower to react. I couldn't think of any smart rotates and so on. And then on the days I woke up from what felt like the best sleep I've ever got, I played the best I ever had. Thinking of real smart rotates and plays that I've never made before, being super aware of everything happening around me and so on. And that was all the evidence I personally needed to finally fix this terrible habit once and for all. So what did I do to improve my sleep? First of all, the most important part of all of this, you need to give your body the opportunity every single night to get 9 hours of sleep. This means to be in bed trying to sleep for 9 hours every night. Yeah, you might not need a full 9 hours of sleep every single night, but some nights you do, so you want to give your body the opportunity to do so if it needs. And if you don't need that much sleep, your body will just naturally wake up earlier, so it doesn't matter. And missing out on a couple hours of Fortnite practice every night in return for perfect sleep will actually benefit your improvement. Because what will happen is your practice the next day will be more efficient because you're more awake, etc. And then you'll also remember and learn more from the previous day. Okay, and now the quality of sleep matters a lot too. In terms of how quickly do you fall asleep, how deep is your sleep, and also how many times do you wake up in the middle of the night, etc. Okay, so when it comes to sleep quality, there's a word you'll hear so much called circadian rhythm. This is a natural sleep-wake cycle your body goes through every 24 hours. So it can determine when to release sleep hormones, drop its temperature, slow down its metabolism, and so on in order to sleep. Which leads me on to my next point. You really need to sleep and wake at roughly the same time every day. Because over time, your body will actually adapt its circadian rhythm to your sleep routine and start kicking in all the right processes in order to sleep when you actually want. And then you stay consistent with that and make sure to almost never throw it off and like stay up really late or something. And there are some other things you can do too to really strengthen your circadian rhythm. The first thing to do is expose your eyes to sunlight as early as you can after you wake up every morning. The second thing to do is avoid big heavy meals and caffeine close to sleep. And third of all is to do something relaxing before you sleep, like meditating, reading a book, taking a warm shower, and so on. And lastly, here's 3 more things you should do to improve your sleep quality. Get a good comfortable eye mask to block out all light while you sleep. I use and recommend a Manta sleep mask. Secondly, you can use earplugs to block out more sounds. You can find earplugs for cheaper any pharmacist really, but you'll need to do a lot of experimenting before you find a pair that actually stay on your ears while you sleep. And lastly, I really recommend to make your room a temperature that's too cold to be in unless you were to get under your blankets. This helps the cooling process that your brain actually goes through before sleeping, and it also makes your bed just more inviting and more comfortable, leading to better sleep. You made it through this whole video, so there's something I'm sure you'd be interested in, bro. My free email newsletter where I post heaps of unique advice and tips and tricks you don't see in my YouTube videos, so join for free using the link in the description of this video.